It's amazing how we start accumulating more and more people around us, and as we grow older, we observe more and more faults within those people. But then also, as we get older and older, we start realizing how easy it is to forgive those faults. Partly because the faults are likely within us as well. At some point, sometime. We also exhibited those same faults. We're all human, which is the second point. And some people had harder starts than others. They're coming from a different place. So if we look at generations, but even those generations are displaced. So I look at my grandparents, and not just one individual, and I could say, on the whole, they all, amongst their faults, struggled, worked hard, tried to become better humans. They were not perfect. Their past experiences, their traumas, all their hindrances, limitations in self-awareness that were hindering them. There was some serious stuff. We are in a world of a lot of luxuries. And some of those luxuries, before they were truly luxuries, were more about releasing freedoms. Freedoms to expand the mind, to expand the dream. So we didn't all come from the same place, but there's still a bit of a similar origin story. And we can look at the vast majority and say, in here, America, as we are so privileged to be, our grandparents struggled to make a better place, to build a base of wealth, and to give their kids a better opportunity. And by and large, they succeeded. And the next generation came along, our parents. And they had more benefits to rely on than their parents had. Education, access to knowledge of sorts. I feel like there was incremental wisdom being put into the system. You had the 60s with the incorporation of Eastern philosophy with yoga, meditation, self-care, mindfulness. And we can obviously, many say that we're in an age of hyper-awareness. Maybe we're really just at the stepping stone. 100 years from now, they'll be looking back and be like, they called it hyper-awareness, but now we call it ancient, pre-modern. Anyways. What I'm trying to say is that we all have our faults, and in each generation we strive to overcome those faults, and in some capacity pass on that to the next generation. I can look at my grandfather and be grateful for his contributions, both of them, to my grandmothers and their approach to love, kindness, caring. My grandfathers were steeped in productivity, intelligence, doing things right. patience. And my parents were more in tune with freedom, liberty, exploration. Not that my grandfather didn't have a bit of a sense of exploration about him, but my parents' generation had a bit more exploration of the mind, which my grandfather had in a different capacity. It was obviously the age of love in the 60s. But we're not guaranteed all this. We're not guaranteed all these freedoms, these emotions, these liberties, loves, passions, emotional states of being, and hyper-awareness. You can look at history, and when civilizations and societies fail, the luxuries that have given us those freedoms, when they go, so goes the freedoms, amongst many, I think. Many will struggle to remember some of the principles of Stoicism. You don't have control over anything but yourself and what's in your mind. We all come from nothing and end as nothing. So why really worry about everything in such a frantic fashion? I'm not saying that we shouldn't work to make a perfect society. That's obviously our number one goal, and the goals are very important. But we're failing. Why are we failing? Where's the unified message of purpose and dignity and good and direction and who we should represent as good human beings? As a people and not as an individual. We are stuck in an individual mindset. It's important to give space to the individual mindset. It helps us overcome and become hyper-aware and overcome our traumas and truly care about ourselves and do what we need to do for ourselves. But we have to come back to the larger whole, the society. Society needs us. It needs everybody. And society has the compassion within it to understand that the individual needs resources as well to heal, to find themselves in a place where they're in a better state of mind, so that when they look around and they see someone in need, or to just be a good human in whatever form that needs to be towards other people, the golden rule. Treat other people with love and compassion. How about that? We got to dismantle the corporations in their power structure. They are dominating politics. We got to undo what they did in the Supreme Court. We got to stop pursuing corporate growth for the sake of the stock market. It's weak. It's a weak economic system. It's fueling all these people with all this money, but it's a fake background noise. It's subsidized. But maybe it's too late. And there are many instances in history where it was too late. So maybe there's an opportunity in the future to roll with the bad punches and come out stronger. I'm not a defeatist. I'm just saying that if it gets bad, therein lies the opportunity. Accept the pain. You might as well accept the pain when it comes. The sooner you accept it, the sooner you can go back to focusing on helping us all create a better society. Right?